and I paid a price, and I paid a huge price. I had 2 anxiety attacks because I worked just too much, and I was growing too fast, and it was an easy experience. Imposter came to me a lot of times. No one gets what I do, more or less. I don't talk a lot about it. I have a very, very good advice for you. Ignore it, delete it, or block it. I think it's never wrong to invest in yourself. It's the only thing no one ever can take from you. And even if it's a bad decision.
I'm sat here with my client turned friend, Manuel, who is coming absolutely storming, taking the German-speaking LinkedIn market by absolute storm. Manuel, pleasure to have you with us, flown in all the way from Austria. Tell us a bit more about who you are and what you do, and then we'll get into some of the significant wins that you've had in the past couple of years.
Actually, when we started working, I came to you because I tried to figure out social media more or less, or LinkedIn actually, because I was working with a few clients on LinkedIn and show them actually how they get clients. And then when I started working with you, everything changed actually. We reworked my offer completely. So for the first time in my life, I had clarity what I do, for whom I do it, and so yeah, that was the start. But now, fast forward 2 years, everything has changed for me. Not only my business, my whole life actually has changed.
Listen up, time is running out. Next Wednesday, I'm running a free 6-figure workshop that could potentially change everything for you. I'm going to take 30 people through the exact 6 steps that I took to hit 6 figures in less than 9 months using LinkedIn. The same system that Beth used to hit 10K last week in her coaching business. The same system that Becky used to hit 100K in her copywriting business. The same system that Samantha used to win 9 accountancy clients in a single week. And the same system that Manuel used to hit over 200,000 euros in cash with a brand new offer. And I could sit here and ply you with even more results, but I won't, because we haven't got time. Spots are filling up fast. So if you're ready to take action, hit the link underneath this video and grab your spot before one of your little stinking competitors grabs it instead of you.
I started from selling websites for like 500 euros for the project, actually for everything. It was insanely underpriced. And now I'm a, how can I say, multiple 6-figure entrepreneur, and not, just because of the work with you and some other coaches.
Do you think you're like an influencer?
It's kind of weird. I think I am, because right now I have at some points, when I have some calls with my clients, like one-to-one calls, they said that they were nervous before they get on the call because they never had spoken to me one-to-one before. And it's kind of weird because I'm just sitting on my computer all day and doing stuff. And now I have this kind of influencer status from my clients. But yeah, I guess I have to grow into the role of being this kind of guy, yeah.
I think it's crazy, isn't it? Because I kind of feel the same. Like, are you a social media influencer? Well, yeah, I try and influence people to do things on social media, but I'm not a social media influencer with the selfies. I know you're very much the same.
Yeah.
I remember I actually pulled it up when I showed you recently our first call, and I remember the investment level. I remember, like, we had a conversation back and forth about, how the investment should look. And I remember zoning in on one point, which is you going, not quite that much, but there was a big gulp required to take that first step. And I want to unpack this a little bit more, right? Because we had this call, 2 strangers on the internet. You put a few thousand into yourself and your business, almost blind faith. And now, if you had to make that same decision again, I know that you would make it like that. So clearly a lot of shit has changed. If I probably asked you to do it right now into something, you'd probably go, okay.
Yeah.
What's changed between then and now?
I think it's so funny that you have the moment of the gulp and of this feeling I had, because I've had loads of sales calls since our call, actually, when I was in the situation, and I've told the story like 20 times, I guess. Like the first moment, the first time when I invested in myself, big, kind of big. It wasn't that much from today's perspective, but yeah, it was an experience. It's like that was, I think it was the first step in trusting myself and trusting my gut. And I've invested so much more money since then in myself, and I never got disappointed, because I know that if I invest in my skills, I can get better and I can achieve more, actually. And if you fast forward from the 2.5 years, we had this call, and I invested, was it 3 or 4 grand? I don't know. That investment right now for me is like, do I have to be on this call when we make the decision on this kind of money? Because it's you get used to the numbers if you grow in your business and if you grow a team and the things, yeah. And yeah, but it's a learning process. But yeah, you just get accustomed to the numbers, I guess.
You really do, man. It's that conditioning and being around people who talk about
Bigger numbers, yeah.
10 grand as if it's not a big thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's actually not a big thing. And I flash back to my first call with someone asking me for 4 grand. And I was like, 4 grand? That is a lot of dough. I paid someone 6 the other day in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. And I actually wanted to call in that instance. So, it's a really, really fascinating concept, this whole money mindset stuff. And I'm interested to know now, do you think if you'd have paid me or anyone that first 4 grand and you hadn't got a result from it, do you think you still would have leveled up as a person?
Of course, when I invested the first time, my confidence grew a lot, not because of the product, but because of the commitment I've made, actually, to the thing I want to do. And I think I've made a lot of investments since C2C as well, and I didn't have better programs, but I had a lot of worse programs.
Interesting.
I had a lot of worse programs, but and even when I thought, okay, I didn't get out the full value that was promised, I got out something. And I guess it's kind of a mindset thing. I don't attach the product to a price, but to the value I get out of it. And if I think I invest in something, and it's maybe I had a sales coaching, it was horrible. The coach, he was shit, more or less. And we had 12 one-to-one sessions. I took 4 and then quit it, and they paid 5 grand for it. But
I paid the full price.
I paid the full price. I asked for a refund. There was lots of discussion. I thought I don't want to go into this. I just leave it there, no worries. And still, wow. I thought, okay, but I got at least something out of it. I made some twitches in my process. I reworked the script, and I did some work. And even if the investment for itself wasn't the best one, actually, it wasn't a good one, I learned a lot because I committed myself to the process that I want to just get my sales process fixed. That's clear. I don't know.
Yeah, it leads me to my next question, for sure, which is, would you pay, and this is, for anyone watching, I suppose, this is a conversation between two people, multiple 6 figures plus in their business. Would you pay 5 grand to someone to learn one thing?
Of course. It depends on the thing, actually, but of course. Right now, when I guess, if you grow in the stages of problems, you pay a lot more than 5,000 euros or pounds for one problem. Right now, I'm at the stage where I have to put 10 to 20 grand in just to fix a problem, because it's a very, very niche problem. And the people who can solve it are very, very niche as well. And of course, they charge a higher price. So of course, I would I think it's never wrong to invest in yourself. It's the only thing no one ever can take from you. And even if it's a bad decision, and even if it's okay, you didn't get out everything you got promised, I think you made the decision to invest in yourself, and the decision itself was just worth it, I guess.
Mic drop. 100%. Because you've just spoken about someone that you paid $5,000 to, that you actually didn't really get anything from, and it was that bad that you quit a third of the way through. That's fucking crazy. But that ultimately shows how much growth you've been through or undertaken as yourself, to just go, actually, you know what? And that in itself is a learning, right?
Yeah, it is. I got something out, and I just I put it on the scale again, and I thought, okay, every time I get on a call with this specific coach, I feel like shit afterwards, and I don't want to have this feeling. So I thought, I don't want to feel like shit, obviously. I guess no one wants to. And of course, I don't want to, and I lost the thread. I don't want to feel like shit. And, no, I lost it. I don't want to feel.
Whoa, hold your horses there. Look, I'm not a big fan of selling in the middle of a video, but I think you're probably going to want to hear this. If you're using LinkedIn to generate leads, there are 3 things that you need. A magnetic profile that communicates who you help and how, a content strategy that builds trust, and a lead gen strategy for inbound and outbound. Would you believe it? I've put together a course that can help you with all of this. And it's an in-depth module lifted directly from our Content to Clients program, where we help clients hit 5K, 10K, 15K months and beyond. The best bit? You can grab it for less than 100 quid. The even better bit is I run it live every couple of months. So you can access all the materials now, and then you'll get a private invite to a meeting where I run through all the materials with you in person. Well, I say in person, it's actually on Zoom, but it's 2025, so. Anyway, if you want to make more money from LinkedIn, this is your chance. All the information is on the link underneath this video. I'll see you there. Well, I think that's good enough, man. No one wants to feel like shit. You want to come off calls with people feeling fucking energized.
Yeah.
Which I think energy is a big part of it. And I know you give a lot to your clients. I give as much as I can to mine. And that's a big thing is energy. Let's tap into life then, because we've kind of talked about business. We kind of haven't talked about business as much as I would want to. So let's keep it brief. Let's go. We're talking you as a solo practitioner, sticking a few grand behind yourself, not really know what you're getting into, to where are you now in terms of, I don't want to give it all away, but there's team, there's a lot of clients in the mix now. Give us a summary.
Summary from what have changed. Yeah. I grew a lot, especially from the work with you with C2C, after we fixed the program and the whole sales process and the leads getting kind of thing. And that was good on the process kind of thing, but I also adapted the kind of the growth mindset, I guess, from you and all of the other high performers out of the program. And I think that was the most valuable part, because from that, I just thought, oh, nice, okay, I can grow until the next bottleneck, and then I have to figure out this next bottleneck, and it just makes so much fun to do it, actually. And I just love it, and it's like Alex Ramosi says, it's the game, more or less, and for me it's kind of the same. I just love to figure out difficult problems and doing something good with it, helping people, having life-changing progress, and that's the thing. And right now I'm in a very different stage, because I don't have to transfer this kind of skill set or this kind of growth or transformation only on my clients, but I have to transfer it on my team as well, because I don't want to have my clients have the best experience they've ever had with a coach or coaching program or group program, or call it like you want or whatever. I want to have it for the team as well. And that's a whole new game to figure out, more or less, just to how can we create an environment where everyone wants to grow, where the clients grow, the team can grow, and I can grow, and of course the business overall can grow as well. And that's just love. I just love it.
I think you've articulated it great. It's just like, I heard someone say this recently where it's just like, as the owner of a business who does something that like we do, we kind of sell information, if you like, which sounds weird, but we sell information which leads to transformation. And they were like, what you do as the person at the head of the business for team or for clients is you like almost inhale their pain, so they don't have to, and give it to them almost as pain-free as you can. Not 100%, but almost as pain-free as you can. And you swallow all that as, I inherit problems and then I give out solutions. And I was like, I fucking love that. And that's kind of what you were saying there. So we're talking now that you have multiple team members. 8 team members. From me and you one-on-one I think was one-on-one. Maybe it was 2-on-1 because Vicky worked for us as well.
Yeah.
But our one-on-one call was just you.
Mm-hmm.
And in the short space of under 2 years, I think maybe just over.
Just over, it was the 2 years and 1 month.
25 months, 1-person business to an 8-person business with multiple 6 figures.
From selling 500 euro websites to multiple 6 figures, was a hell of a ride.
And we're only getting started.
We're only getting started, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, parking the business, I know you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I know you work hard, and I know there have been multiple ups and downs as well. Let's not pretend this has been easy. That would be a complete lie.
Yeah.
What's life like now? I mean, you've flown out to Birmingham. It's not the first time you've flown to the UK.
Yeah.
Let's ignore the flight.
Yeah.
I know that wasn't great.
Let's not talk about the flight.
Forget the flight. We're in safe ground.
Yeah.
On the ground as well, kind of 5th floor. But does it feel like we all just went out for food? Someone picked up the tab. It could have been any one of us, and no one would have cared. Is that, because that's a big difference for me.
Yeah.
Is that a difference for you? And what does life look like in terms of?
I guess you tapped into 2 things right now. One thing is kind of the work-life balance thing, and one kind is just how I can afford stuff. Yeah, freedom, how I can afford stuff. To go into the easier one, of course, it's nice to don't think if you take a dessert or not, or a dessert or not, or I don't know, get an extra side dish or this stuff. Yeah, that's I love it because I love good food. That's good. That's one big change for me. But on the other hand, when you said in terms of the work-life balance, I know it's kind of a term no one likes, and I don't think it exists in this way, but it would go very deep on this one. And yeah, it wasn't very easy. And I think the whole, how can we manage our work and our personal kind of stuff, or our business and our personal kind of stuff, it's also a huge learning curve for me, more or less, because at the beginning of last year, not this year, I worked way too much and it was way too invested in my business, because I thought, hey, I'm young, I can grind, I don't know, 16 hours a day, and I did it, and I paid a price, and I paid a huge price. I had 2 anxiety attacks because I worked just too much, and I was growing too fast, and it was an easy experience. Imposter came to me a lot of times, but I think I am very switched on, and I think I love to just figure out where's the limit and how can I extend it. And that's just my way of living and my way of being. But of course, right now, I'm not in this stage anymore, in this I have to fill my refrigerator next month stage. Of course, then it's a lot easier to grind 16 hours a day if you have to pay your bills next month.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now I'm not in this stage anymore, and still I come into these few phases where I work a little too much, and then I have to turn it down and put energy on the other areas, especially personal health, sport, fitness kind of things. But yeah, I think it's everything. It's just like you have to figure out while you do it, and it's part of the game. You have to just learn it, and then you do it, and then you fail, and then you do it better.
I'm laughing because there's just so much truth in it.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that have tried to do what you've done and failed?
That's hard because I don't look too much into other people actually.
Why not?
I don't compare myself a lot to other people's or what they do exactly, more or less.
Why not?
I think it adds no value. Maybe it creates envy in I don't know. I'm laser focused in my stuff, more or less. Of course, when I work with my clients, I want to get into their business and I want to help them as much as I possibly can. But if I have no connection to their business or to their life in any way, why should I go into it and maybe get jealous or something, or they get jealous or something like this? I don't know. But I think, especially in my personal area, in my personal life, no one gets what I do, more or less. I don't talk a lot about it because a lot of people, they're just employees, not self-employed, no business owners. So I say that I do stuff, but they don't really grasp the whole kind of transformation, the whole shit you have to go through and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even try to.
So there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point.
There isn't.
There's
Yeah.
no value for both sides, so why should I do it?
Hey, dropping some bombs. I think we could go all night here, but we've got drinks to drink and then some more drinks to drink. So, I want to ask you one, maybe two more questions. See how we go. Mainly because I need the toilet. Give me one key learning, one key thing, and I think I know what the broad topic of this is going to be. One key thing that you can take away from the last 2 years of doing what you've done.
My key learning.
Take your time to think about it if you need to.
I guess I wrote a newsletter today about it. I guess my key learning is focus. It's just, if you ignore, and that's a funny thing, because right now when we've been on workation, I don't know if it's a term in English. The team met in Croatia and we had a big mansion and we worked together, and at some point they just pulled out the phones. Oh, look at this comment, or look at that guy in the sales call, he said like shit. And I said, I have a very, very good advice for you. Ignore it, delete it, or block it. And that's just, I do it with everything right now in my business. I just ignore most of the things because I think it's, the more I grow, the more I know that focus is one of the most important things in business. And I don't, I talked about the anxiety attacks before, and I had it because I took too much on my plate that wasn't my focus. I made some workshops, I tried some extra products and kind of thing, and everything, I got just overwhelmed. And all the time I paid a huge price when I lost my focus and I tried to do something new because it looks sparkly and, you know, shiny object syndrome on social media, it's everywhere. And I always got burnt. So for me, focus is the biggest thing. And we talked about it at dinner before. I asked about how can I make another product, or how can I expand actually my product palette or whatsoever, because I thought a lot about it, and I made the decision that I want to just wait for my first million just on one product, because I know how hard it is to get just great at one thing. And I think that was the biggest learning I got from growing that 2 years, that just ignore almost everything and ignore all the opportunities and all the things you see, the opportunities more or less, and just focus on the thing that already works and make it even better, or make even more of it. That's the main take.
I've got them now. You can see, look.
Ooh, nice.
getting goosebumps off the shit. Seriously, like there's so much knowledge packed into that, and for someone whose language isn't English or a natural first language isn't English, you articulated it brilliantly, man. I want to say a massive congratulations on what you've achieved. It is fantastic. I got to see inside your brain a few weeks ago with some of the funnels and some of the journeys that you take people on from a marketing perspective, and I'm just so proud to have played a part, man. So I got to say thank you, mate. Like anytime you pay me money, I've got to deliver.
Of course. Yeah, and that's maybe good for the final piece. I think you set the bar for me of how good a product should be, and I think that's very important because so many people come to me that have been to some kind of mass programs where they were just kind of a number, and no one actually cared, and they didn't made any progress and stuff like that. And I just set my standard of my product. I compared it to C2C because it was my first experience in a group program, and it was just such a massive over deliver that I thought that's the bar I want to measure my product on. Yeah, so I guess it's good.
Amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But yeah, thank you for flying out. Thank you for staying up late. Thanks for
the drinks.
Yeah. Pleasure, mate. We've got more to come. But yeah, we'll wrap it there.